But it's just crazy. And I know you wrote a piece about that. What are your thoughts about how some people are just really taking this thing? And I think it's one of those things I want to touch on too. I,
Mhm.
I know it happens in other communities, probably to a lesser extent, but in the black community in particular, it's as if you decide to think differently, decide to even vote differently, some people want to excommunicate you from the community. It's one of the strangest and disturbing things I've seen throughout my life. So, what do you think about that?
So, all right, I haven't really talked about this, but it's something I talk to certain friends of mine because it might be a taboo thing to kind of say. But I do think that there is a unique insecurity that exists amongst many Black Americans. And I use the word insecurity very specifically because I spent much of my life insecure. So I know what insecure behavior looks like. And if you're secure in yourself and who you are, and let's say you're a Black person, you're proud to be Black, and so on and so forth, then you're secure in yourself. And it doesn't matter if you're not proud to be Black or if you are proud to be Black or who you vote for, what you believe. You're you're fine either way. These things don't interfere with how you move. And so there's a level of security in that. And I think for many Christians, they understand they're going to be in a world where there are people who are believers and non-believers, and they have to be secure with their belief system in the absence that they might have to interact with someone who does not believe and does not see the world from a biblical worldview. And you have to deal with that. You can't stomp and rant and rave that you have to talk to someone who doesn't believe in Jesus. Like, you can't. Now, you're encouraged to be around this person so that maybe some of your beliefs can rub off on them and open them up, and so they can see where you're coming from. That's a different story. But that's called being secure, right? There's a level of racial insecurity that I see, and I do believe that there are many Black Americans who are insecure about being Black. And it's unfortunate because there's no reason for them to be insecure, but what I watch is insecure behavior. If you say, well, I don't do those things, so you can't do those things, that sounds like something an insecure person would say. And insecure people are some of the worst people to be around because you're always having to tiptoe if you're doing the thing or if they're going to freak out because you're not doing the thing. Like, it's something that is exhausting, and you don't these aren't pleasant people to be around. Even if you want to care about them, they're not pleasant to be around because they tend to lean into victimhood as well because they're insecure. um so I do think that's kind of to sort of answer your question as to why they're so hell-bent on everyone doing the same thing,
Hmm.
because they're so scared that, like, the insecurity part also leads into paranoia. I hear this often, and I'm sure you've heard it, where they they state like something negative that's happening is not just a negative thing that's happening, but it's a conspiracy. to, you know what they try to do? They brought drugs into the community and forced crackheads to smoke crack and to abandon their kids,
Right,
and it
right.
was their plan all along. And it's like, or people made choices and
Yeah,
conscious choices
yeah.
reacting to the world around them, and they decided to do the same. Like, just because crack is available, I'm sure there's somebody in my neighborhood smokes crack, right? I'm sure I can drive somewhere that has crack, but
Hmm.
just because crack is available doesn't mean that everyone's
Right.
smoking it. People are making choices to smoke crack, right? So it's not a conspiracy if something is available for all types of people to do it. And at the same time, they'll recognize that, well, the demographics smoke crack too and do drugs and get high.
Right.
So where is the conspiracy? Is it just a conspiracy when you guys do it, and when that, like it, when you start to make sense of this entire thing, if it starts to slowly fall apart and you can't take them seriously, which is why you should not listen to insecure people,
Yeah.
because they're coming from a place where it is tainted. The way they see the world, it is tainted that someone is doing something against them. Things aren't right because, not because of them. And if you do something that is different, then oh my God, I can't even handle this. Like it's such an emotional roller coaster to be around these types of people. Obviously, we're not talking about all Black people. Like many of my family members are not like this, but I've seen it. And I think this narrative that we are perpetual victims, someone's doing something to us, the white man is doing this and doing that, all it does is make people feel insecure. When people go on and on about colorism, are there people who say like lighter is better and darker is worse? Yeah, those people exist. But all types of people exist. Like,
Right.
like
Right.
there are murderers that exist. It doesn't mean that you should be worried about getting murdered every day. Like,
Yeah.
all types of people exist in this world, and those few people who are like that doesn't mean that you're ugly because you're dark skinned, or that every Black person favors light skinned over dark skinned. Like, there's a level of insecurity that comes along with it, because if you are dark skinned, it doesn't matter if the person next to you doesn't like dark skinned people. It doesn't matter. Just in the same way, for me, I am not racist, right? And it doesn't matter if the person next to me likes Black people or doesn't like Black people. I wish they would like Black people just like all people, but it doesn't hurt my day. I'm not losing sleep because someone out there that exists is racist.
Right.
It doesn't affect me in that way because I'm secure in myself, and that's their problem, not mine. And I'm not hell-bent on changing the world so they can accept me. And that's the other problem too. Insecure people want external validation. They constantly want external validation, which is why you get this weird message about America is a white supremacist society and it's ran by white supremacists. And then the next sentence is, they need to do this for us. So wait, the white supremacist society is supposed to do the thing that you want them to do against you, the very people that you say that they hate, and you expect them to do it? Like, this is like, it's a mixed message, and it always leads for them to fail when you have that mentality of being a victim. So what I'm saying is, you should do things in spite of, even if their narrative is true. And America's this white supremacist society. You have two choices. You either leave America and go somewhere else, or you stay here and do things in spite of.
Right.
Or actually, there is a third option. You stay here and you complain and you fail. And many people choose to fail because they are too prideful to see their insecurity and fix their insecurity. And then the next generation comes, and they get told these old fables, and everyone thinks that slavery happened 2 years ago, and they don't see the progress that has happened since. So yeah,
Right.
that's my rant.